Let me start right here. Breaking news. The Cleveland Browns are back in the postseason, and that's obviously awesome. The playoffs are better. Life is better when the Browns are back where they belong. So now the somber note. I hate to start the program with the ultimate kick in America's package, but I have to read the following statement released by America's team moments ago, and I quote, "The Cleveland Browns were informed this morning that head coach Kevin Stefanski, 2 additional members of the coaching staff, and 2 players have tested positive for COVID-19. Our facility is currently closed while contact tracing is taking place. The team will continue to consult with the league and medical experts to determine the appropriate next steps as the health and safety of our players, coaches, staff, and the entire community remains our highest priority. Our contingency planning calls for special teams coordinator Mike Prefer to serve as the acting head coach." End of quote. There are gut punches, and then there's that. Getting to the playoffs and then losing your head coach and 2 other members of the coaching staff and 2 more players, and the facility has been closed yet again. As of right now, that playoff game in Pittsburgh is still on for Sunday night. Now, I'm not sure if I'd call that a full-blown nightmare scenario for the league, but losing a head coach, 2 other coaches, and 2 players for a playoff game is pretty damn close to a nightmare scenario, especially since moving the game really does not seem to be an option at this point. Now, for Cleveland, it is brutal. Absolutely brutal. 18 years without the postseason, and now this happens. Now, this is a team that has battled through so many challenges, including positive tests and facility closings over the course of the entire year, and yet they keep finding a way to win. They found a way to get it done. They found a way to get in. I've mentioned before, Odell Beckham Jr. lost for the season. They keep right on winning. Nick Chubb misses 4 games. They keep right on doing their thing. And now this. And it is rough. Really, really rough, because Stefanski is not just your head coach. He's way more than that to that team. He's the play caller, and no team wants to lose their head coach before a playoff game. I would argue that other teams could survive that more easily than the Browns can because of what this guy means to that team. He means so much to the team and the organization overall. There's a reason why Stefanski is one of the hottest names to win Coach of the Year, because this guy shapes and defines the identity of that entire team, the organization. And now when the team needs him the most, he's unable to participate due to the pandemic. As always, saying something sucks is not a take. This sucks. I mean, this really sucks. Now, having said that, I want to be very clear about this. If you think the Cleveland Browns are going to give up, if you think the Browns are going to tap because their head coach is not available for that playoff game against Pittsburgh, then you don't know the Cleveland Browns. Not the Cleveland Browns I know, because I know this crew is not going to fold. Man, they're going to battle, they're going to grind, they're going to fight, they're going to move towards that battle. You want to run down a list of whack stats about how much they've struggled against the Steelers in Pittsburgh when things were right. That's fine. Go ahead and do that. You do that. You can talk about the Steelers dominating the Browns in Pittsburgh, and I'm just going to go Derek Anderson on you and say, that's fine. That's fine. In fact, that's great. The Cleveland Browns don't just want to be in the playoffs. They want to beat the Steelers in the playoffs. You see that as an obstacle. They'll see it as an opportunity. Man, they're not going to feel sorry for themselves because they know nobody else will. The obstacle is the way. The only way out is right through. They don't want to back into a Super Bowl win. They want to earn it. Bring it all on. Why the hell not at this point? Bring on all the challenges you have. Throw everything you've got at this crew. They're built for it. They're built differently. They are different. Don't come in here. And Browns fan, don't you do it either. Don't you come in here with, why is this happening? You can talk all you want about the Browns' struggles in the playoffs. and the fact that they're snake bitten and whatever can go wrong will go wrong. You can tell me that the Browns and the Browns fans will never, ever experience true happiness, that every time something goes wrong, about 10 other things go wrong. And I'm just going to call it noise, man. I'm going to call that junk. I'm going to call that what that is. So you can try to come in here and reset that screaming Browns fan. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. That's the old way of thinking. Those are the old Cleveland Browns. This is a new year. This is a new team, and it's still America's team. Now, don't get me wrong. Losing Kevin Stefanski and 2 more coaches and 2 more players is serious. Really serious. This is a pandemic. The virus is absolutely no joke at all. It is dangerous, and my immediate concern is for their speedy recovery and a return to full health. But if you think the Cleveland Browns and their fans are going to melt down about this, you're wrong. Because this crew has been forged in fire. They're battle-tested. They've gone through all these losses, all these quarterbacks, all these head coaches. They've come out the other side finally. They're stronger for it. They're better for it. Man, iron sharpens iron. They're ready to swing their sword. Again, the health and safety of the coaches is the most important thing. But after that, it doesn't matter who's available and who's not available. Man, they're going to show up. They're going to battle. I see you haters. I hear you haters. I read you haters. I feel you haters. The drive, the fumble, the move, and now the Rona, the positive. If you think I'm bailing, you don't know me, and you don't know America's team. Yeah, it sucks, but we're not going to tap. We're not going to tap. C-Town, get up in here. I'm not fighting this battle by myself. 1-800-636-8686. Phone lines are open. I'd even bust into the opening segment for it, for the right phone call. Or hit me up on Twitter, @JimRome. Let's check the early reaction. Wonder if I'll be surprised. Doubt it. Let's see. James Rome III of Calabasas. It's a bummer what happened to the Browns. This is exactly why I don't mix with the commoners. Got to play it safe. Signed, Beauregard in Pacific Palisades. Hey, listen, I agree with part of that. Got to play it safe. Man, be smart, be healthy. But it's a pandemic. It's a pandemic. There are people doing really stupid things that are testing positive. And then there are people who are trying to do all the right things that are testing positive. This is what's meant by a pandemic. I'm not James Rome III. I'm not James Rome II. I'm not James Rome of Calabasas. D-Rod in the 925. Getting to the playoffs and possibly losing due to the Rona is the most Cleveland thing ever. Now, that's the most Cleveland take ever. Again, we're not doing that. This is my whole point, D-Rod. Different team, different time, different mindset, different outlook. It's not the most Cleveland thing ever. It's a freaking pandemic. It's not like this is the only team that's affected because it's a pandemic. Hi, Rome. Now you see why that loser who called you yesterday crying about the Browns felt the way he did. It's the first day of the new year, and your team is in the postseason. Why are you acting like that? He said, I'm tortured. I'm scarred. And I said, you're tortured? Are you being tortured during the call? What the hell is the matter with you? And then sure enough, a day later, the coach tests positive. A couple of the other coaches, a couple of the players. The facility is shut down. You got to stay in that fight. You have to stay in that fight. Cleveland, you've been fighting this fight now for nearly 2 decades. Now is not the time to tap. I don't need to tell you that. That is a badass town. That's a tough town. Trust me, nobody in that facility is giving in. The head coach is not giving in. America's quarterback is not giving in. They're staying in the fight. Dear Jim, the only way out is through? I bet we can find another way, like losing on Sunday by 20. Sign the Browns. Brett and Bugahaw. Got to play the game. Now, the amazing thing about the NFL, despite everything that's happened this year, they've played every single game. They got through their 16-game season. So, as I mentioned, the closest thing to a nightmare would be this, and there's no cancellation of that game as of now. I got a feeling they're going to play that game. They've played every other game. They've moved some around. We've seen some Tuesday night action, some Wednesday night action, but we're on to the playoffs. Certainly not ideal. Hey, Jim, the Browns may not tap, but I sure will. Thanks, Garv. Mike in Buffalo, helping him. Wore Ben Affleck, never seen the higher side of the seesaw. I don't really understand any of that, especially that part about Garv. Like, Garv's like 80 now, right? At Hitman Canadian, quote, hey, COVID was going to be our excuse for not winning at all. Signed Bill's Mafia. We're not looking for an excuse. Notice I'm not making an excuse. Notice I'm not saying, man, this sucks. This sucks. They've got no shot. What I'm saying is, this sucks. We're not tapping. This is not ideal, but this is the hand we've been dealt. Deal with it. Handle it. Nobody cares. That's the thing, right? That's the thing. Nobody cares. Heard a great saying the other day that when you're running around complaining about how jacked up everything is, 80% of the people do not care and 20% are happy you're miserable. Nobody gives a damn. And I'm not making an excuse. I'm saying it sucks. So we got to embrace the suck. Lean into it. This is what it is.